Today we're going to be making cinnamon ice cream. It's delicious, it's not that hard, and people just rave about how good it is. So we're going to start with 3 cups of milk. We have a double boiler going here. It has the water in there very nice and hot. We're going to do what's called scalding the milk, which means we're going to get it very, very hot, but not boiling. So let's go ahead and get that milk started because it takes a while to warm up. So we'll get that going. And while that's heating up, let's go ahead and do this syrup, the cinnamon syrup that we'll add to that later. We have some sugar in there in the pan, so we'll add to that some cinnamon powder and a little liquid, the water, so that it can have some moisture to work with there. And we've got the eye going there. Now we're going to stir this up and let this all dissolve together, so it'll make a nice kind of pasty type of a concoction there, and then we'll add all that to it in just a minute. Well, our milk has come up to a very hot temperature, and yet it's not boiling. So now we're going to add some sugar and just kind of blend that all in there with that milk and let that hot milk dissolve that sugar. Remember, this is ice cream, so there is sugar involved. And that's what makes it so good. So, all right, doesn't take much of that. Now we're going to do what's called tempering. We're going to try to get the temperatures kind of close to the same. Now, this is an egg yolk, so if we got it too hot too fast, we'd have scrambled eggs. So we got to be real careful. This is the careful part. You know, there's usually a careful part on every recipe. This is the careful part. We're going to put this in there, that hot milk, and then we're going to stir it real fast. We're going to stir it real fast and get it nice and, yeah, that turned out just right. We don't want it to get too hot, but yet we want it to get hot enough to where we can add this in there with the milk. All right. So it's going to splash it around because we're actually making a custard here. And that's looking pretty good. I think that temperature's up enough. I'm going to go ahead and slowly add this to this milk. Yes, so it's looking fine. I think we're all right. We got the egg up hot enough to where it's not going to create a egg mess in the milk mixture. So this is going to take some time to stir this for a while until we get a custard to go in here. So let me show you what it looks like in just a sec. All right, our milk mixture has got nice and thick enough to coat the back of a spoon. You kind of put a line with your finger there to see that it has indeed gotten nice and thick for you. And we're going to take the cinnamon syrup, whew, that smells fantastic, and just pour that in there and stir this into that mixture. Get as much of that as you can because that's all cinnamon flavor right there. Amazing. We'll stir that around a little bit. Whoa. And then some vanilla. Put some vanilla in there. And then some cream. This is heavy cream. And put that in there just as much as we can for this. There we go. That's looking great. And the smell is magnificent. So we're going to let this cool after it all dissolves. And then we're going to pour it into something to let it really cool. We're going to put it in the refrigerator for at least several hours, if not even overnight, and let this mixture cool down before we actually make the real ice cream. Well, we have chilled the ice cream mixture overnight, so we have that ready to go in there. We have this wonderful machine here. You may remember the crank ice cream makers that gave way to the motorized ice cream makers. This one is fantastic. It's got this frozen bucket here. Stick that in the freezer and just freeze it very, very solidly. And then it has a beater here that goes in the middle. And then this little top goes right over on the top of that right there. And just makes a fabulous ice cream maker. You can't believe how easy it is to work. So much easier than the old days. There's no ice. This bucket here is frozen. So what we're going to do is we're going to pour in the mixture of ice cream. Oh, there it goes. And it still smells fantastic. And what we'll do is then turn this on and let this blend, let it freeze literally for about 15, maybe 20 minutes. And there's a hole in the top here, so you're saying, well, how do I know when it's frozen? Because it's not like the old days when it gets harder to churn. We literally can take a little spoon and take a little bite every once in a while and test it to see when it's done. It's not a bad thing at all to have to take a little taste every once in a while. We'll come back in 15, 20 minutes and see if it's ready for consumption. Okay, well, let's turn this off and take a look at what we have in here. Ooh, it's looking good. Let's see what we have consistency-wise. Ooh, that's just perfect. So, tell you what, let's do. Let's just get this beater out of here. And tell you what, I'll get that later. I want to just try a little bit of it first. So you can see the consistency that we have here. After 20 minutes, we've had it freezing here for about 20 minutes. Just going to leave that there and try a little bit of this. Oh, it's perfect. It's so creamy. It's just so creamy and smooth. That's what I love about all homemade ice cream. Here's a little trick. If you're going to take it and keep it for weeks, you really can. Freeze it. The key is to put some plastic wrap over what you've already made. We've made a little bit actually yesterday, and put that down there, get all the air out of there so it won't get freezer burn. And you can keep it for weeks. It's a wonderful dessert to make ahead. So hope you enjoyed the cinnamon ice cream. Remember, for the full recipe, go to my website, gunselman.com, and I hope you enjoy it.